Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here again. Today, going to show you guys how to play It Ain't Like That by Alice in Chains and Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains' debut album, Facelift. We are tuned down a half step for this tutorial. Here's your tuning. Now, this riff. Very simple, very cool. We're using an E major chord, just a full E major chord, and we're going to kind of rake up the strings from the high E string all the way to the low E, right? And then you're going to drop onto the third fret of the low E, full step bend release. And as you rake up, you do not want those strings ringing out the entire time, like when you drop onto that 3 for the bend, right? So you kind of drop your right hand back onto the top 5 strings to choke them off, right? I'm kind of like dropping my fingers back on the strings to choke off all those ringing notes. Right, you can see my fingers dropping back on the strings to choke it off. So that is the opening riff, and you're going to repeat that 8 times. And then we drop into the chuggy bit. Which we're going to repeat 8 times. So we're going from an E power chord into an F power chord up to a G power chord and back to F, all palm muted. We're going to start with 2 chugs of this E power chord before dropping into the F power chord for 3 chugs. And then we're going to move it up to G, back to F, and then back off to E again. Start it over again, right? Now, only the first time do you chug this E twice. Every other time you're going to chug it 3 times. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. And the F is 3 times every time, right? So that is that part. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. And after you repeat that 8 times, we drop back into the opening riff. For the first verse, and we're going to repeat that 8 times for the first verse. The pre-chorus is this chugging bit. So we're going to go back into that as the pre-chorus, right? Repeating it 8 times. It does not change. You just repeat it 8 times for the pre-chorus. And then we drop into the chorus, and the chorus is more like cowboy chords here. C, G, D, A, right? An A power chord. C, G, D, A. And then just before heading back into the chuggy bit, we're going to grab the third fret of the low E string here, give it a little waggle, and then right back to the A power chord. C, G, D, A, boom, ba, right? And then back into the chugging. Twice, and then drop back into the chorus again. Back into the chugging 4 times. And then the final time, leading into the second verse, we're going to choke off on that F. Right? And then right back into the opening riff. But leading into the second verse, we're not going to start it with the rake up the strings. We're just going to drop right into an E power chord and then onto that third fret for the bend, kind of like this. And then we start doing the rake. Right, now we're into the second verse. Second verse, same as the first. Second pre-chorus, same as the first pre-chorus. Right? 8 times. Second chorus, same as the first chorus, C to G to D, A, 3rd fret A. Repeats. And now we're into the solo. And so the solo. So that's pretty much the solo right there. So he's using a wah pedal for this solo. I have a wah pedal, but I do not have it hooked up right now. Just going to show you the notes. But know that. Use a wah pedal if you have one for full effect for this solo. So we're starting here on the 7th fret of the D string with a hammer onto 8 back to 7. Right, and then we're going to do the same thing on the A string, but we're going to start it with a triple hit. Right, 7 to 8, back off to 7. And then we're into this. So we're going to slide into 8 of the A, 7, 8 of the D, 7, 9 of the G. This is the Locrian scale, not a scale that's used a whole heck of a lot in hard rock and metal. He starts it off in the Locrian scale, just that lick right there, and then he moves into more common E minor pentatonic work, but that's the opening. And then we're into this. So we're going to slide into 9 of the G, 8, 10 of the B. Going to pick it once, and then you're going to go into a double bend, full step bend with lots of vibrato. Now we're going to take that bend, we're going to slide it into 15 of the B string, pick it a couple of times, and then we're going to go 15 off to 12, quick little bend of the 14 of the G off to 12 of the G, down to 15 of the high E, full step bend, into that, so you're going to release that bend on the 15, back to the natural note, off to 12, grab the 15 of the B, full step bend, release, and then we're into this. But before we get into that, let's recap. All right, so we're into this. So we're starting on the 15 of the B. We're just going to descend right down the scale on the B string. 4 times on the 15. Back it up to 12, 4 times. Back it up to 10, 3 times. Back it up to 8 twice. Right? And then you're going to back it up to 5. And hit that like 5 times, and then you're going to go off to 3 and then back on to 5. Just like that. And then you're going to string skip up to the 2 of the D, drop onto the 5, and just let that ring. And that's the end of the solo. From the beginning. And then we just drop back into the main riff again for the next verse. I think at this point they repeat the riff a couple of times before the vocals come back in, so I think you're repeating that like 12 times or maybe 10 times at this point. Drop back into another pre-chorus. Right? right, which we've already covered, right? And then the final chorus, same as all the other choruses. C to G to D, A, 3rd fret A, C, G, D, A. And then at this point, I think they repeat that chorus like 4 times at the end of the track. And that's it. That is how you play that one. It Ain't Like That by Jerry Cantrell and Alice in Chains. Certainly hope you enjoyed the video, found it helpful. And if you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind. And big shout out to all of those who support me on Patreon. Thank you very much for that. It really means a lot. And it really helps me get a little bit closer to the ultimate goal of doing this for a living. I'm not quite there yet, but we're getting there. And take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time, yeah? Cheers.